One day I was in my house and I was in the bedroom, and the Spirit said unto me, go downstairs. So I went down and I stood down there, and he said, ask them to bring you a chair. So they brought me a chair, and he said, sit down. So I sat down right at the front of the garage, and I said, why am I sitting here this evening? It was about 5:30 in the evening. And I said, and the Holy Spirit didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Whilst I was sitting there, there were two young men who lived in my house. At that time, I've always had these young men staying with me. And they drove in with one of the cars. It was a 4-wheel. And they parked right at the front of the gate. And they weren't expecting me to be sitting there because I don't sit there. So they came out, they greeted me, and they went up. And I was still sitting there. And I was saying in my head, why am I sitting here? But I sat there. Then the Holy Spirit said, go and open the boot, open the trunk. And I said, open the trunk for what? So I went and I opened the trunk. When I opened the trunk, I saw this beautiful young girl in the trunk. So I asked her to come out. And I said, girl, what are you doing in the trunk? And she said, I came with them, but when we came and we saw you, they asked me to hide in the trunk. And I said, but girl, you could have been here and died. So I said, come out. What is your name? She told me her name. And I called the two guys and I said, who is this girl? And they said, oh, she's our friend. And I said, what is she doing in the boot? This is somebody's daughter. You want to kill her? And those two guys, they changed from that day. But you see, even though they changed, they were seeing and looking at me as somebody who knows everything. But I don't know everything. Since that day, the Holy Spirit has never told me to go down, take a chair, and sit at the front of my garage. He hasn't told me to do that anymore. Never. And they've done things that I had no idea of. So these things where we make people very powerful, very important, and we feel like because they prophesied or they had a word of wisdom or knowledge or said something and it happened and it came to pass, so they are these superhuman beings. Nobody is a superhuman being. It's the Holy Spirit that is a super spirit.